So the first one we're looking at is that ultraviolet spectrum. We go from these high energy lights that cause sunburn, that can cause skin damage, like the UV, the blue light, and we move to those lower frequency lights like the infrared and the red lights that are healing. So the sun has all of these in balance. We're starting with the UVA. This light, it can cause burning if you're extremely sensitive. It passes through glass and it stimulates a little bit of that tan. But it also releases nitric oxide, and it's very needed for hormone creation. Nitric oxide is like the original blood pressure medication. It dilates your vessels, making them a lot wider, and it allows your blood pressure to normalize. So just having UVA on your eyes and your skin stimulates this. Here you can see this little graphic of 100% nitric oxide at 20 years old. And as you age, your nitric oxide decreases and your vessels get thicker and thicker. So I'm gonna do a little aside for the nerds out there. Nitric oxide can bind to those mitochondrial engines and stop energy production. But in full spectrum sunlight, that red and infrared light actually frees the nitric oxide from your mitochondria, and it lets it do its job by making your vessels wider and your blood flow easier. Next, we're gonna look at the properties of UVB. So UVB is why the dermatologist tells you to put on sunscreen. You block all the UVB from your skin, but these benefits are ridiculous. We need it to create vitamin D, but it also stimulates this protein called POMC. And we've all heard of vitamin D, but I feel like a lot of people take this for granted. These benefits are absolutely bonkers. Vitamin D of more than 125 nanomoles per liter reduces all cancers by 75%. That is insane. Breast cancer by 50%, ovarian cancer by 25%, type 1 diabetes by 80%, type 2 diabetes by 50%, multiple sclerosis by 50%, heart attack in men by 50%. These numbers are outrageous. There is zero pharmaceuticals, zero pills you could take that will have these numbers. And this is kind of funny that I found that dermatologists in Australia, this place that is all sun, and they're telling you to put on the sunscreen. Their vitamin D levels are 35 nanomoles per liter. So they're putting themselves at risk for all these diseases. And we're gonna talk about the risks and benefits and how to safely expose your skin later on. Next is POMC. POMC stands for pro-opiomelanocortin, and it's basically this protein. And this protein gets activated by the different wavelengths of light we've talked about. And it's found pretty much everywhere. It's on the surface of your skin. It's found inside your body, in your brain, your gut, your immune system, and a bunch of other places. So what does this POMC do? A quick overview. It gets chopped up into these pieces called alpha MSH, beta MSH, and gamma MSH. And this is what is responsible for creating that melanin. It also reduces your appetite. So by getting in the sun, you are reducing your appetite. Those cravings, you can't seem to stop them. They stop just from the sun. Then we have gamma MSH, which has roles in raising blood pressure. Then we have ACTH, which raises cortisol, and this is stimulated by blue light. We'll talk about that in depth a little later. And then we have CLIP, which raises insulin. We have beta lipotropin and gamma lipotropin, which stimulates fat metabolism. And then we have these beta endorphins and metenkephalins, and these are your feel-good hormones. These are why people get addicted. So a lot of people, they hop addictions, they stop smoking, they start gambling. Your final addiction should be the sun. It releases beta endorphins. It makes you feel great. So how does this POMC work? It gets chopped up by different wavelengths of light. We know that the percentage of wavelengths throughout the day changes. So depending on the time, it will get cut up into what you need. But it is affected by artificial light sources, by those things we talked about earlier, like your screens and your light bulbs. So we're gonna go a little more in depth into those cleavage products, the things that POMC gets cut into. Melanin, we've all heard of melanin. It's that thing that gets you tan, but it has these incredible health benefits and it's found all over your body. And then alpha MSH also reduces appetite. For you guys struggling with weight loss, this is going to be huge for you. And it also makes you horny. Depending on who you are, this might be a downside, right? So let's look at melanin. It's not just for tanning. We know it has these sunscreen effects and it protects you from radio frequencies as well. And if we're inhibiting this stuff with sunscreen, we are getting more and more sensitive to the sun. So we are now dependent on sunscreen instead of using our body's built-in mechanisms. But what else does melanin do other than protect us from the sun? It has a huge antioxidant effect. It helps modulate your gut health. It enhances and modulates your immune system. It's protective of your liver. It's anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory. This is just that thing that you get for free from tanning, right? And melanin also splits water to make molecular hydrogen. People literally pay for this stuff as a supplement. Energy and oxygen. Your cells need oxygen to create energy. So this is molecular hydrogen. People are buying this stuff as supplements when they could just get in the sun and load up on melanin.